Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Brand, Season 2, featuring entrepreneurs that are in Atlanta. I am Alieshia, and this is an episode where I am going to be interviewing fellow entrepreneur Joy about her businesses that she has in Atlanta. So make sure you like, you comment, and subscribe, and also go and check out her businesses when you are in town, or if you're already in town, check them out while you're here. Thank you for joining me.
No problem.
Let them know who you are in the businesses that you have.
Awesome. Well, my name is Joy Christina, and I own two businesses. One is called Social House, and the other one is called Throw Inc. And then I have a ton of projects that I'm working on, but ultimately those are the main brick and mortar businesses that I have. Social House is a lounge, and we have a private events. We have also regular events, and that's pretty much our cup of tea there. And then as far as Throw Inc., we are a throwing facility, so we throw like axes and knives and stars and all kinds of cool things.
Yeah, so it's an activity spot. You know, if you want to come and plan a trip, you should go check it out, okay? So my first question is, did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
No, I don't think I want. No, I didn't really know much about the world of business. I was always taught, you go to school, you get an education, and then you go and work for someone. Mm-hmm. So, it just kind of all happened because I always felt like I could do what my boss did. Like, I guess maybe it came out of a sense of arrogance, but really I always felt like I could do what they're doing. Like, why am I working for them? Like, I could do what they're doing. So, and that is kind of what ignited my entrepreneurship spirit.
Okay, do you know like that moment when it was like shift, like, oh, I could be an entrepreneur? Was it a certain job? Was it like a feeling or?
Yeah, I had gotten out of undergraduate and I was working for a PR agency. Mm-hmm. I did PR for a few years, and I was always felt like that I was underutilized, mm-hmm. and that I had the propensity and the power and the capacity to be able to do what it was that my boss was doing. Obviously, in retrospect, I look at it like, obviously I needed more grooming and things like that and mm-hmm. learning, but the spirit in me was always like, I could do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, that's good. So your first location was Social House, and then your second location is Throw. How long did it take you from the process from thinking like, oh, I want to open up a social house until like it opened up, like from the thought to the process?
Well, before Social House, I used to own an escape room, and that escape room was I had that for at least 4 or 5 years until I completely transitioned it out. But essentially, the escape room wasn't performing as well as I wanted it to, and so I was looking for ways to activate and change the business in a way that was going to produce more revenue. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, I wanted to add food and beverage to it. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, I began the process of looking at what it would like to add food and beverage to an escape room. And mm-hmm. so I came up with a concept called Clues and Cocktails.
Oh, okay.
And Clues and Cocktails opened in November of 2019. Mm-hmm. And then 4 months later, basically 4 or 5 months later, the pandemic hit. Oh, and so that's what changed the course of the business and why we're here today at Social House. Because through that process, I began changing it.
Oh, okay then. So sometimes it's like you just have to change because you're forced because of the pandemic. We'll talk about that later. And then for the Throw, how long did it take, like your idea to open the doors?
So in the escape room business, I had a business partner, mm-hmm. and that business partner introduced me to axe throwing. Oh. And so that was back in 2017. And so I opened up an axe throwing business just a few doors down at 306 Auburn Avenue. And I was there all the way up until the end of last year.
Okay.
We moved out of that space in December of 2021.
Oh, okay.
So the Throw project came about because I decided I wanted to move to another location. Mm-hmm. And I began looking for spaces, and I came across the space in Inman Park. And then after that, the ball just started rolling. So.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty quick.
Yeah, so that was in summer of last year when I found the space. I had officially put the whole project together from start to finish by November of last year.
Okay.
But then it took another few months for permitting because I ran into some issues with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was really quick. That's good. So with your businesses, what does success mean to you when it comes to entrepreneurship?
Success.
Mm-hmm.
Success means to me, as it relates to entrepreneurship, to be able to have a viable business that is producing revenue and people are excited about, and that your staff is able to support the vision of what it is that you're trying to create. I think that's success.
Oh, okay. So you're the first one that I have interviewed so far that has had staff. You know, you do have staff because of the businesses that you have. Usually people are like doing it themselves. So how is that, like having a staff and managing a staff with knowing that like these businesses are like, you know, like so close to your heart?
Yeah, it's expensive.
Okay.
Having staff is expensive, but it's also necessary because you can't do it all on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get the right staff in there and the right people, things thrive, you know? And so the key is to get the right people.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, having staff is not always easy because you have to really have a clear vision of what it is that you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get people to believe in that vision, and then you have to have clear processes and procedures that allow people to operate to how you want to see them operate, and then while also elevating and activating them so that they continue to operate at their greatest, you know? So it's not easy. It's really not easy, and it's expensive. So when you have employees, you want to make sure that you really understand your products. You really understand how you're going to utilize people and how you can activate them to the best of their ability. You know?
Okay, yes, that's good. So it's expensive and it's hard, but it's worth it.
It's worth it in so much that you find the right people.
Okay, yes, so it's necessary.
Yeah.
Within this, it sounds like you had a long time, or you had a couple of years, few years of doing businesses before you started your entrepreneurship journey. Did you have a great piece of advice that someone told you to do, or that you took from someone?
That's a good question. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that someone told me that always stuck with me. But along the way, I've come across some really key pieces of wisdom that I stick to myself, you know? And I would say, first and foremost, to be able to have a very clear, concise vision that's not complicated, that's not overly complicated, so that people can understand is paramount. You have to really understand your product. You have to really understand what it is that you're trying to provide. My biggest issues in terms of being able to produce revenue and being able to successfully grow has been because of a lack of vision. So now, as I move forward in my entrepreneurship journey, anything that I do, I make sure that I fully understand what it is that I'm trying to get into, how to be successful in that line of business, and more importantly, what it is that I myself am trying to create, you know? And I write that out, I iron it out very clearly, concisely, in one sentence, so that when I convey this to my staff, and when I convey this to other people and customers, it's very clear, like, this is what I'm selling to you, and this is the need that it fulfills, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Being specific, because then they say, like, well, somebody said, I didn't say it, but it's like when you talk like to too many people, or you have too much, and it's like people they'll get confused, so they won't know like what you're talking about. So being able to like make it concise so they'll know what they're doing or know what you're how you're serving them is really great. So that's advice for you all. So glad you learned it throughout your time. So that's really good. So with your businesses and life and family and friends and stuff like that, how do you balance having your businesses and family and your own goals?
Yeah, I mean, that's a work in progress. I mean, it's not easy. Like, I honestly haven't done the best job at ensuring that I support my personal life,
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of personal has suffered as it relates to business. And so as I continue to grow in my entrepreneurship and learn how to say no and how to allow for myself to not be so rigid in terms of like having to accomplish a goal right now, right here, I'm learning a better balance. So, and that's just a recent phenomenon.
Okay, do you feel like you're always like trying to get to the next goal, like in your business stuff like that, and you don't have like time? Because you don't have time to just like enjoy it, like enjoy. You're just like, okay, to the next, okay, to the next.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So now you gotta learn how to like balance the fun and the relax. Yeah, it is really kind of hard. So
it is.
Everybody that I ask, nobody really has the answer. So I should put it out there. And so you were talking about earlier about how you were moving the axe throwing to another location and how you had to close. So it led into this about how have you had to pivot in entrepreneurship. And since you were talking about the pandemic, I would say how have you had to pivot during the pandemic, if you want to just expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic was really, it was enlightening. It was hard. We're still dealing with the residual impacts of it. Mm-hmm. It was not, it was not easy. And it's still, to try to operate within this kind of post-COVID world, it has been even a challenge in itself. But I'm hopeful and I'm excited about like how things are going to continue to transform. But how I had to pivot during the pandemic was I had created this business and that I felt and that was operating. We were doing well. We were 4 months in, and like basically Clues and Cocktails was a dinner theater. All of our shows were sold out. You know what I mean? Like, people loved the product that we were producing. And when the pandemic hit, it made it so that we couldn't have group interaction. I had to think of new and innovative ways to be able to establish myself in a way that was going to be viable for the future. So in order to do that, I was like, all right, I have a liquor license, I have a bar, and I can really capitalize on this world of food and beverage. So that was a big shift that I made. I completely took the space, which it did not look like this. Mm-hmm. It looked completely different. And we painted, we brought in new furniture, we brought in a new way of handling the business, and we pivoted, we shifted completely to a whole new business model. And that was not easy. And it's still, we're still figuring out our lane, pivoting, moving, shaping, and changing never ends in business.
Okay.
Continuously evolving.
I was going to say, when you were talking, I was like, one thing that I think about entrepreneurs in general is like how innovative they have to be. And I feel like if people are really, really innovative, then I feel like that's why they don't like to maybe be in a 9-to-5. They like the entrepreneurship journey because they can always try things and change things. Not saying that they always go very well, but it's like that spirit to be there. It's like, oh, I can try this, I can try that. And that is so cool that you were able to switch it and it worked out. So do you miss Clues and Cocktails, and will it be coming back?
I miss it all the time. We had created something really good that we didn't get to fully share with the world.
Mm-hmm.
But would I ever go back to that? No, I don't think I would ever do that again. Because it was a lot of time and effort and mental energy to create such a robust product like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, I'm so sad. I was like, dang, maybe we could go to it one day. So what's been the most calculated risk that you have taken as an entrepreneur?
most calculated risk is moving to taking what I've learned in business
Mm-hmm.
and understanding the nuances of how to be able to garner a successful business and capitalizing on those things. So using what I've learned. So my shift from moving my axe throwing business off this street to where we are now was a calculated risk. Because I knew that if I could move to a better area and have access to a client have access to my direct clientele in an area where they hang out, I'll be more successful. And I have been, So
That is so smart. And, if you're not from Atlanta, I guess you don't really know, but I do know what you're saying. Like the different, like we downtown Atlanta, okay, and then the other area is more like popular. Even today, like it's more foot traffic.
yeah.
And so I wanted to talk to you about that for people who do have brick and mortars and stuff like that. What is the best way or the best research? How can they research like how to know about the foot traffic in those areas in those cities that they're trying to do that?
So spaces that are in high traffic areas are highly sought after because of that reason. So your number one goal is to be able to have a pulse on the areas that you want to move into and stock it. Stock it like no other. And not to rely on just your real estate agent to open the door for those types of things, which they can. I have an awesome real estate agent who has opened up amazing doors for me and is helping me to enter into new markets that require for you to know someone, And that's the key, right? A lot of these highly sought after areas, the people that have access to those areas is because they know someone. So it's also about getting connected to the right people that can open the door for you to be in those areas. So that's what I would say. I would say find an area that you know is high traffic, stock it. Understand the businesses that are there, see how well they're performing, and see if there's anybody on the verge of leaving that area. And the second thing is get connected to the right either real estate agents or people who can introduce you to the developers or the building owners or even the right opportunities to buy to be able to get into these areas.
Yeah, I like that you said that because I don't even think people think about real estate agents when it comes to like commercial and stuff like that, which I have thought about that before. The next piece, like, do you have any suggestions on like how to find the right people for you or to know if people want to do that? Or is it just kind of like who you know and you just gotta like get out there?
Yeah, go to the area that you want to be in, find the business owner and ask them who their agent was that helped them find that place. And then see who it is that they're connected to, because I guarantee you in every city there are agents that are connected to all the big developers. If you're looking to lease, right, that are connected to all the big developers, and they only ping those people to help them to find viable candidates to fill their spaces.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I see what you're saying. It's a great tip. I know it's a lot out there. The brick and mortar, I know it's expensive and hard, so that's actually really good. Yeah, thanks for that. And so, speaking of development, speaking of all the businesses and life and stuff, what is your morning routine?
Yeah.
How do you get ready to tackle the day?
Yeah, I wake up in the morning and my morning is about me and my mental wellness. So most recently I've adopted the habit of doing something physical in the morning. So whether that's me going for a walk or going for a run or going to the gym to lift weights, every day is my commitment to myself to do something physical. And I have to do that in the morning right after I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, while I'm doing those things, I always listen to some form of like motivational speaker. So whether it's like I have my two biggest mentors are Oprah and Tony Robbins.
Oprah.
Yeah,
I know Tony Robbins too.
Yeah, so if I'm not listening to them while I'm working out, I'm listening to some other form of way to educate myself and broaden my horizons. So like I don't listen to music when I work out.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to a motivational speaker that's telling me about the things I need to do to better myself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I'll spend some time, if I have time to do it, I'll spend some time either in meditation or some days I say affirmations, but I don't regularly do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, meditation isn't meditation for me, it's like prayer.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So what time do you wake up?
So for me, I wake up at like around 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a later morning, and I have a later morning because I usually have a really late night. So
okay.
my work schedule isn't very traditional because I'm in the night space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm typically up until like 1 or 2 in the morning. Sometimes even later than that. Like, you know, last night I didn't finish work till 1 a.m. in the morning. So because I basically have shifted my whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most entrepreneurs, they'll get up at 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, or maybe even earlier. I can't do that because I literally don't go to sleep till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So.
Yeah, I feel you. That was good. So it's some space out there for the night owls, okay? You know, you don't have to wake up, and I feel like it's really important because people are like, I wake up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. You know, Oprah and them might say that, but I can't wake up at 4 and 5 in the morning yet. Okay, it's too early.
They can wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning all they want. Okay, that is not me. I've accepted that about myself. There are days when I do need to get up earlier, but that's not me, and I was like. And I don't want to push myself to be that because I know me and I know my body, and I know my body wants at least 7 hours.
Okay, yeah, and especially when you're going later too. And that's also like what works for them works for them.
Yeah.
And like I have a different thing, so I like how you make it adaptable to yourself, and I like how you keep the promise to yourself. You're like, okay, I need to work out for me every day, or do something physical every day for yourself. So I do like that. Yeah. That's really nice. Anything else in your morning routine?
I would say the other really important thing for me in the morning time is to I wake up and I drink water.
Okay.
So like water is a big piece of my morning routine. I would just tell you that.
Okay. I was like, oh, okay, yes. Water is good though. Water is good for you. So that's your morning routine, and that is a lot that you have going on, you know, but I like the different parts about it, with, you know, how you do the nightlife and how you're like going into that space and stuff. Well, you're already in the space, but like doing that and doing both of the businesses is really, really great. And so I know that you do have other adventures that you want to do and different things like that. So what should we be looking forward to next from you?
Well, I am currently just working on projects that I feel speak more closely to who I am as an individual. So I'm still in a kind of pensive mode where I'm like trying to decide the next journey for me, you know? So I do have some other projects that I'm working on in the NFT space, in the metaverse space. I also have some personal projects of mine that I'm working on, but essentially I'm in a mode of just trying to be very intentional about the next step I make. So.
Oh, okay then. And so where can they find the throw place and being able to go and see it and go, you know, not see it, I mean, go and do it. Go to the activity, and how can they find it on social media so they know, or how they're able to go and make a reservation to come do the activity at your place?
Yeah, of course. Well, we are, The name of the space is called Throw Inc. Throw Inc. Incorporated, basically. And our website is axethrowingatlanta.com. You can find us on social media at Throw Inc. ATL. We're all on all the social media platforms. For Social House, you can find us on anything as Social House Atlanta. If you Google that, you'll find us. Our website is yoursocialhouse.com. Where both of the businesses are very closely located. We're in the Old Fourth Ward at 314 Auburn Avenue. That's where Social House is. And then Throw Inc. is in Inman Park at 325 Elizabeth Street Northeast. So that's where you can find all of that good stuff.
Yes, so if you are looking, to do an activity, if you're looking for your own event, check out both of the locations that she just told you all about. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with somebody who's in Atlanta, people who are about to go to Atlanta if they're looking for things to do. And make sure to subscribe and also support Black-owned businesses. See you next time. Bye.